AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Freshman LSU offensive lineman Ryan Meteorite's going to be here in 1 hour. I'm excited about that conversation, man. He was committed to Ole Miss. When Lane Kiffin took the LSU job, he immediately decommitted, flipped to LSU, signed with the Tigers, and is on campus. He'll be going through spring, and he'll be here with us in studio in 1 hour from right now. A guy who spent the last 5 years as an LSU Tiger is former LSU wide receiver Chris Hilton, getting ready for the next phase after participating in 4 postseason All-Star games. Chris, good enough to join us here, man. Hey, how are you, dude?
Man, I'm doing good. It feel like I was just at media day talking to you, actually. It's crazy how time flies.
Does it really feel like that last year went quickly?
Yeah, it does, honestly.
You know, we were we talked about, your career at media days. I remember asking you about, all the injuries kind of limiting your time, and then you go through this season where you're hoping to finally be healthy and be able to maximize all of it. And we all know the season didn't go how everybody wanted, but when you look back now that it's all done, Chris, if I asked you got any regrets?
Regrets? No, not really. Mainly lessons. When I look back at like my past 5 years, I feel like God always had a plan for me, and I feel like it went exactly how it was supposed to. Like, I feel like I had to go through those 5 years to get to where I am right now. So as far as regrets, no, I don't have any.
Can you give me an example of a lesson you learned going through something you went through?
Really just is about perseverance. Like, that's been pretty much the main point was perseverance throughout those 5 years. Just getting knocked down many times, things not going your way, but every day you got to show up and you got to keep putting the work in. Like, I got it tatted on me on my left arm. So it's funny how I got it tatted on me before, like, I even, like, knew, like, this was going to happen to me. You know what I mean? So it's just ironic.
What does the tattoo say?
It says perseverance.
Oh, perseverance. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, Lord knows you learned that over these last 5 years. I know we talked about it at media days, going into the 24 season. I mean, you were just awesome in fall camp, and then that injury that cost you the bulk of the season. Chris, I don't know if I asked you this. I want to talk about your draft prep and all that here in a second, but I don't know if I remember asking this. After last year, did you consider, or did you ever consider going in the portal and leaving?
No. Like, I'm from Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? I grew up 30 minutes away from LSU, you feel me? So even though times got tough, you know what I'm saying, I was never going to run away. Like, I was just going to embrace it.
You know what's interesting, man? I know you know this because you grew up here, but a lot of people hearing you say that, it's going to resonate because we talk all the time about how the advantage LSU has is the dirt, right? There's so many kids who grow up just wanting to play at LSU, and it sounds like that's, you kind of fall into that category. Like, is that fair? Like, just could never imagine putting on another uniform?
Yeah, you right, bro. Like I said again, like, I'm from Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different when you do it in your home state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my mindset about it.
Chris Hilton's our guest. Well, I said you could never imagine putting on another uniform, and then you put on 4 different uniforms in not even a full month, Chris. I mean, was it the East-West Shrine, the American Bowl, Senior Bowl, Hula Bowl was the other one?
That's all 4 of them.
Okay. Help me out. Walk me through this, man. Like, I don't think that was probably your intent that you were going to go play in 4 games. How did this happen?
Nah, so at first it was originally 3. So once the season was over, I got invited to the first 2, which is Hula American and the Shrine Bowl. And again, I didn't have the production over my career that I wanted to. So I knew I had to go essentially like put myself out there so like, scouts could see me and everything like that. So off rip, I was already going to do all 3. And it's funny you say that because like a lot of people, when they found out I was doing all 3, you know what I'm saying, you'll get some looks like, you sure you won't do that? Like 3 games is a lot considering, you just played the whole season. Or you worried about getting injured or anything like that. And my whole mindset was just go to work. Like I told myself that every day throughout the whole month of January, wake up, go to work. And so I did the Hula Bowl, did my thing there. Came back to Cali, trained for a week, went to the American Bowl, did that. As soon as the American Bowl was over, hop on the flight to Dallas, got to Dallas, did my thing there, the Shrine Bowl, and then at halftime, right before halftime, I found out I got the invite to the Senior Bowl, and there was like no question that I was doing the Senior Bowl. Because I told myself, I said, bro, if you get the Senior Bowl, you're doing it no matter what. So I got the invite. I filled out the registration for my flight at halftime, went back out, played the game. The next day, I was on a flight to Mobile, and I practiced that same day.
Wait, the same day so the day after you played in East-West Shrine, you got on a flight, and the same day you flew, you practiced in Mobile?
Yeah.
Like, were you – so my first thought, though, Chris, like, is – that's amazing. Were you fatigued? Like, do you worry that doing so much in such a short amount of time, if you were fatigued, it might have hindered your performance?
Nah. Like I might be a little different, but my whole mindset going into the Hula Bowl was like, listen, like you didn't have the career you wanted to at LSU, but you got one shot. You got one shot throughout this whole process. If you got to do 4 games, you got to do 4 games. So at the end of the day, bro, like I did what I had to do. And it's crazy that I was the first player in history to do it. And again, it goes back to another one of my tattoos I got on me. It's the word prototype. And the reason why I got it, because like if you look at the definition, it's like you're one of one, but you're like the first of many. You know what I mean? And it's like everything that comes after you is based off of you. So like at the end of the day, like I want people to see that like even if you feel like you're back against the wall, you know what I'm saying? Like you can still make it at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I love that. Chris Hilton's our guest. So you playing 4 All-Star games. What feedback did you get from NFL teams?
Honestly, they were all for it. You know what I mean? They all told me that I was doing the right thing by playing in the first 3. And then the main question was, if you get the 4th one, are you going to play? And without hesitation, I said, yeah. So I got, honestly, a bunch of good feedback from them.
What about your performance? How did you perform in those games? Like as far as what that may mean for draft upcoming in April?
Honestly, I feel like I made the most of my opportunities. You know what I'm saying? I have a guy, a great mentor. He told me, he was like, when he prays, he only prays for good health and opportunities. Because at some point, you know what I'm saying, he has to, like me, I got to do my part. You know what I'm saying? I feel like God, he kept me healthy. he gave me the opportunities, and I feel like I made the most of them. So I'll give all the glory to God throughout this whole process because, again, without him, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
That's awesome, man. I know there's a lot of LSU fans that are going to pull for you forever. I mean, even not that they weren't already, but hearing all this and all the adversity you're going through is just going to make a whole bunch more fans for you. Hey, real quick, let me ask you about Nuss. He looked pretty good. Looked like he looked good in the Senior Bowl. What'd you think watching him get out there rip it a little bit?
Man, it was good to see. Again, for all of us. Again, we didn't have the season that we wanted to, but just going out there, play freely, and go do what we got to do. Like it was a sight to see, and he got MVP of the game, so that was nice.
Do you know Lane Kiffin at all?
No, I didn't have the chance to meet him before I left.
He never did. I guess would he have recruited you? Did he recruit you to Ole Miss?
It was Pete.
Okay, Pete Golding was who recruited. So you never met Lane even during recruitment. What do you think about his offense? I mean, obviously, I played against him a bunch. What do you think about him?
I mean, it's gonna be good to see this year. Like I said, I still got some guys in the building on offense, some young guys. So it's gonna be good to see what they can do in that offense.
Yeah. Hey, before you go, man, give us you mentioned you're in California training. What's next for you as far as this pre-draft process? What are you working on?
Right now, I'm just working out for the combine. So I'm going through all the drills and stuff like that, and then I'm gonna head out to Indy in like a week or two.
So combine in a couple of weeks, and then pro day at LSU. I presume you'd go through pro day too, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Well, man, we're gonna keep following it. We'll keep in touch. We wish you good health and the best of luck, man. We always appreciate the time when you can spare a few minutes. All right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, man. That's our pleasure. Chris Hilton, former LSU Tiger. Man, how can you not root for that guy? I mean, never could, in an era where everybody leaves. And by the way, I say it all the time. I'm okay with people leaving. I get it. In an era where everybody leaves, that dude was like, nope, not leaving. Playing for my home state. It'll mean more to play for LSU, not putting on another uniform. Like, how can you not, as a fan, love and respect that? Awesome, dude. I hope he stays healthy. I hope he crushes it, man. Look, he's going to go to the combine and run to 40 and he's run 40 like 4.3. I mean, he's got a great opportunity ahead of him. He can go prove, if he can stay healthy and perform athletically, he is going to test off the charts and everything if he's healthy. That's like, I'm going long here, but I remember talking to Chris Carrier, who, looks, a lot of CC played at LSU in the 80s, was an all-SEC safety, played in the NFL. CC was a defensive coach at Catholic when I was there, longtime coach at Zachary as well, and also is the head track coach at Zachary. In addition, he doesn't coach football anymore, but he had Chris there. And CC's told me Chris Hilton's the best athlete he's ever coached. Like, high jump champion. I mean, like, he is if he's healthy, which sounds like he is, he's going to go to the combine and test off the charts. Triple, not they don't do triple, the cone drill, the long jump, the standing broad jump, the vertical, the 40 time. Like, Chris Hilton's a freak. He's going to go test off the charts at the combine. Good for him, man. I hope he crushes it. Good for you. Go get it, man. All right, let me knock out a break, y'all. It's after further review. We'll continue next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood, men's sexual wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Hey, look, I tell you all the time about hormone replacement therapy. Men, women, get your levels checked. If you don't know anything about hormone replacement therapy, you need to find out. Our hormones contribute to nearly everything with how we feel, how we act. Do you sleep well at night? Do you wake up full of energy? Do you have mental clarity? You want to clear the brain fog? You want to burn fat, build muscle? All those things, like, our hormones contribute to that. And as we age, nobody's exempt. Literally every human, all of us. As we age, and stress can be an accelerator, our bodies produce less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. Great news. You can safely and affordably supplement to get to healthy levels. extend your life and your vitality and improve your overall health, mood, well-being, all of it. Simple blood test, y'all. YourGoodWood.com. Check them out, YourGoodWood.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
We ride back and forth till we run out of light. Take it to the barn, put it up for the night. Climb up in the loft.
March Madness is headed to Vegas, and LouisianaSports.net is sending one of you plus a friend with it. We're giving away a 3-night Las Vegas getaway from Wednesday, March 18th through Saturday, March 21st, just in time to watch all the madness. Hotel stay and flights are covered, and all you have to do to enter is head to LouisianaSports.net and click the March Madness getaway link. Sign up now before our March Madness Pick'em launches. Get yourself entered, and you could be watching the tournament from Las Vegas instead of your couch. The winner will be announced Monday, March 2nd.
While we were at the Super Bowl, Rivers was doing this content feature where she talked to a lot of different people, Justin Reed and Annie Agar and Clinton Yates from ESPN Radio, and she would ask like fun questions. And one of them was, if you had a year to train, what Olympic sport do you think you could get closest to medaling in? And the audacity of anyone to even answer that question is crazy to me, because there's this video right now. It's all over social media. I don't know who this guy is. Don't know what country he competes for. I don't even care. I don't even know what this event is called. But he is running uphill on skis at a sub 6-minute mile pace. Let me say this again, okay? This man is running uphill on skis at a sub 6-minute mile pace. I'm here to tell you, 99% of the world could train an entire year just to try to run 1 mile at a sub 6-minute pace and would fail miserably. Homeboy is running up a hill on skis in the snow at a sub 6-minute mile pace. Fundamental absurdity. So again, I don't care what you think you could be good at. If you spend a year training for it, you ain't even coming close to medaling. You ain't even coming close to making the Olympics. Whew. Now, I don't know why any human would want to run up a hill on skis really fast or do a lot of the stupid things associated with the Olympics, especially the Winter Olympics. Like, the Winter Olympics doesn't even feel like sport. It's just, let's see what wacky cold weather tricks we can do. Like, let's slide down an ice mountain head first on a sled and call it skeleton. Okay. Like, that's a sport? Listen, it's hard as hell. You're going 100 miles an hour down a hill head first, down ice? It's patently absurd. It's crazy. It doesn't really feel like a sport. But whatever. I don't know why anybody would choose, want to do these things. But God bless, man. That dude running really fast up a hill on skis. Man. All right, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New division odds are out for 2026 in the NFL. I'm going to tell you where the Saints fall in the NFC South. South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. Remember, they're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. So if you're thinking of buying a vehicle, here's the new year's getting underway. Put Volkswagen on your list. And one of the most important things I can mention, yes, style, feel, performance of luxury, safety features, cost, all that stuff. But remember, they're also manufactured in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. So no tariffs, and you're supporting American jobs. Get the great German engineering, the safety features, the great price, all of it, and supporting American jobs. South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Super Bowl's in the rearview mirror, so the NFL season's done, and now a lot of people are starting to look ahead early to 2026, and there's still a lot that's going to happen, right? I mean, the league year is going to begin, free agency is going to start, the draft is still to come, and that will just fundamentally change season outlooks for a lot of teams, right? The Seahawks adding Sam Darnold, they won a Super Bowl. They went from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold and won a Super Bowl. The Saints drafted Tyler Shuck last year. It has fundamentally changed the outlook in the future of this organization. So doing this now comes with a gigantic asterisk, so as to say a lot's going to change and all this is going to evolve. But I think this does speak to a lot of the optimism that is shared, not just with Saints fans or people who cover the team, but the odds makers in Las Vegas who are saying, yeah, no, that looks actually real. So we got this up at LouisianaSports.net. If you want to go check it out, it's the division odds for 2026 for all 8 NFL divisions. You can go read it there for free. Everything's always free over at LouisianaSports.net. In the NFC South, now, of course, the Carolina Panthers are the reigning champion, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are favored to win the South at plus 120, so it's almost even money. The Saints and the Falcons are next, tied at plus 350, and then the defending champion Carolina Panthers, with no respect whatsoever, at plus 425. All that to say, man, there is a really strong look at New Orleans after winning 5 games and 6 games, respectively, the last 2 seasons, as potentially having an emergence, a re-emergence in the NFC South and back to the playoffs in their crosshairs. That is pretty jarring to see that much of a jump in the expectation and perception of that team, even from where they were in the final month of going into the final month of the season to now. That's how much that winning streak with Tyler Shuck at the end of the season did for the perception of this organization moving forward. One of the other really big questions is going to be, you know, what are the Saints going to do here in this offseason? How are they going to tackle some of the big questions? And like the biggest question that we're going to talk a lot about is, well, do you extend Chris Olave? We've mentioned that before. We're obviously going to look at what happens with some aging veterans. Taysom Hill, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, all of those are pretty obvious. What they do in the draft, which, you know, my hope is certainly that they go out in the draft and land a big weapon for Tyler Shuck. And there's a piece up at ESPN.com where they were looking at the offseason for all 32 NFL teams. They looked at like the draft outlook and, you know, the biggest priorities and so on. And there was one big prediction for the offseason, and the prediction was that the Saints will sign ex-Bills guard David Edwards to a big deal, noting he's the lone exciting player who could be available in the guard market. The offensive line, how about this part? The offensive line is a sneakily solid group when center Eric McCoy is healthy, but it needs better guard play. There's no doubt that the Saints offensive line has been a bit of an Achilles heel, but it is also worth mentioning that, like, your best offensive lineman, Eric McCoy, got hurt. You're playing Luke Fortner. And then Trevor Penning stunk, and so you traded him. And so then, you know, you had Dylan Radunz in there at left guard. And then you had Cesar Salad at right guard, who isn't very good. You had 2 young tackles. But I could also spin that. And I could go, when Eric McCoy's healthy, you have one of the best centers in the NFL. And then with Kelvin Banks and Taliesin Fuaga, you have your future bookend tackles who are both young players. And Fuaga is going to be going into year 3 and Banks going into year 2. It's solidified in their spot. So you've got center tackle done. Cesar Ruiz is never going to be an elite player, but he's a veteran player who's played a lot of football, and he's going to be better when he's bookended by Eric McCoy and Taliesin Fuaga instead of Luke Fortner and Taliesin Fuaga in his second year, but first playing right tackle, right? I mean, you can see how that all comes together. That's where you're talking about sneakily good. So really your big question is at left guard. Didn't work out with Trevor Penning. You shipped him out. You go into free agency and add a guy like David Edwards. Like, now you're cooking with grease. I mean, David Edwards is a really good young player. I went and looked up PFF. So he played in 18 games this past year for Buffalo. He's 28 years old. So you're talking about a young veteran. Played at Wisconsin, by the way. So he's played in 103 career games. He came into the league back in 2019. So he's played in 103 games with 77 starts. He's been mostly durable. There's one season, 2022, where he's injured, only played in 4 games. But other than that, he's been a really durable, available guy. PFF this year had him ranked 18th among guards that played at least 1,000 snaps. He was 31st overall among guards, but a lot of those guys, guy plays 4 snaps. He's got a higher rank. But if you're looking at guys that played at least 1,000 snaps, he's 18th. So a good number, a good, solid starting player. And the market value for Edwards, who started his career with the Rams and then has spent the last 3 years in Buffalo, the market value, according to Spotrac, is $19.9 million per year. So they project a 3-year, so I'm looking at it, they project a 3-year, $59.7 million contract for Edwards this year in free agency with an average annual value of $19.9 million. So for the Saints, who again shed $30 million of Derek Carr's cap, who finally are out of quote-unquote cap hell, who really only need to restructure to about $30 million worth of contracts instead of $130 million of contracts. Like, it's going to be very doable for this team this year to get into a sensible cap situation, to have money to spend, and that's going to be very affordable. The question is, are they looking in the draft or are they going in free agency? Like, I've been transparent here. I would love to see them go add a veteran guard, which this would check the box, and then go add weapons in the draft. Notably, a receiver at number 8 would be awesome. And I'd feel really good about where that offense moves forward. A healthy offensive line with a young veteran like Edwards. Add a weapon or two offensively for Tyler Shuck. Another year with consistency in the staff, knowing he's going to get every rep as the starter. Now, all of a sudden, when you think back to how those projections looked for the New Orleans Saints, potentially making their move to get back atop the NFC South this year, feels very doable, very realistic. So we'll follow it, but keep an eye on David Edwards potentially as a target for New Orleans at guard in this free agent cycle. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Gents, I know you know this, but Valentine's Day Saturday. If you haven't gotten a reservation, look, they're booked for Saturday, and I'm going to go ahead and guess. I hadn't talked to Leighton, but I'm going to go ahead and guess they're booked for Friday as well. But today's Tuesday, and they're open. How about today or tomorrow? Or even Thursday? Get in and have your Valentine's dinner earlier in the week, so then you can go do Mardi Gras this weekend. Endymion Saturday, Eric and I will be down there. Really looking forward to being at the Mardi Gras Ball, the Endymion Ball on Saturday on Valentine's Day. So if that's you, great. Go to Supper Club tonight or tomorrow or Thursday. Get there early. Supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com for your reservations. Supperclubbtr.com. You have the best meal of your life, whatever it is. If it's one of those elite level steaks, if it's the Chilean sea bass, the veal parm, which I love, told you about a ton, any of the great appetizers, exquisite wine library there as well, great whiskey selection. Telling you, whatever you're looking for, they have it. It'll be the best you ever had. It's at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com, right there on Perkins near Bluebonnet. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're halfway home on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Muselab Tigers of the Pros in about 15 minutes. Ryan Muret, freshman offensive lineman for LSU, will be in studio with us here in about a half an hour from right now. First pitch for the baseball Tigers in 3 days. Recap a little what Jay Johnson had to say with reporters before the weekend. We'll get to all that on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if your heater is not keeping up, or 74 degrees today, you had to switch back to the AC and you're having issues, River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime, and where they have more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor. I love reading those 5-star Google reviews for you because it really illustrates why they're so outstanding at what they do over at River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001. Chris Harris said Joshua, technician, was such a polite, efficient technician. He was knowledgeable, wanted to complete his assignment to our satisfaction. Another 5-star Google review. Don't always hear that when you're talking about HVAC technicians, unless you're talking about River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She's even kind of crazy about my farmer's tan. She's the only one.
We've gotten some clarity for some players and have seen some upticks and improvement, particularly on the pitching staff, and feel good about a lot of guys that we can put in the game. Excited about that.
Just 3 days away from baseball at the box. Jay Johnson talking a little bit about the pitching staff and what through these early season scrimmages he feels like they've learned about the pitching staff. One thing that is solidified is Zach Cowan's going to have a pretty key role on this team. And this just dropped into the inbox from Bill Franquez over at LSU Sports Information. LSU righty Zach Cowan been named to the 2026 NCBWA Stopper of the Year preseason watch list. 104 players on the initial watch list for the 21st Annual Stopper of the Year award. And Cowan is it's a really key retention piece for LSU. 5 of Cowan's 6 saves last year came in SEC regular season games. He was awesome in the College World. Look, after getting roughed up against Little Rock in the regional game where LSU had to save their season, he came back in the College World Series against Arkansas and was just outstanding. 5 1/3, 1 run on 4 hits, no walks, struck out 6. Cowan is just undeniably going to be a massive part of this rotation. You're talking about a guy with 54 career appearances between Wofford and LSU. He had 22 appearances a year ago, 52 innings pitched, and just the veteran, he's not going to overpower you, but the veteran presence on the mound, man. It's going to be interesting to me to see how Jay Johnson and Nate Yeske fill roles on this staff. Yeah, as we did sort of a season preview a couple of weeks ago where we looked at the starters, the relievers, and then the lineup and the position players, and just kind of gave you a 10,000-foot overview of all of it. And there's some things that are pretty obvious how it's going to start. You're going to have Kason Evans and William Schmidt and Cooper Moore in the weekend rotation this weekend. And very seldom does it ever end how it starts. One of the things I love when we talk about college baseball is it's a 56-game evolution. It's going through those 56 games to learn about your team, so when you get to the postseason, you've pared down your rotation, you've pared down your bullpen. You know who's going to be your left-handed pinch hitter when you need one. You know what situations you're going to pinch run and what the defensive replacement's going to be. You've gone through the 56-game evolution to get all these answers. I think they pretty definitively know where they want to start, right? I mean, even when you talk about the back of the bullpen, Grant Fontenot and Devin Sheeran are going to be your setup closer. However that goes, 8-9, 9-8, whatever it may be. That's how they want to start. So Cowan may very well end up being a mid-relief guy who can give you some length if you need it, because he's certainly capable of doing that. I mean, he was outstanding at the end of games for the bulk of last season, but obviously he's been a starter. He started 17 games at Wofford in his second season there. So how they work through that, the many different options they have on the mound, it's going to be fascinating to watch. Listen, they're going to go and just overpower Milwaukee. And the hard thing when you play a series like this is you're going to overwhelm them because you're so much more talented than they are. So it's going to be difficult not to just get infatuated with the power, but the power arms, the power bats, all of it, because eventually you're going to punch at your own weight. It's one of the detriments of playing a schedule like this when you play Milwaukee and you play teams like this. It gets you innings, gets you at bats against live pitching and an opponent with a pulse that's not wearing your uniform. But this doesn't serve you when you have to go face Arkansas or Mississippi State or Texas A&M or whoever. But Jay Johnson can do whatever he wants, y'all. I mean, he's won 2 of the last 3 national championships. This is how he schedules. At the beginning of the season, he likes to play the Friday games during the day so he's not playing at night. He'd rather play when the sun's up and it's warmer than playing at night. Okay. Like, anybody arguing with anything Jay Johnson does at this point? It's just you're shouting in the wind. Like, I don't think he's flawless. There'll probably be things I disagree with, but everything he does has logic and sound reasoning behind it, so you can always live with the result. And the result with Jay Johnson typically is really good. Now, another name that's going to be really interesting, we haven't talked about a bunch yet, is Ethan Plog, and Jay Johnson did talk about him. He's going to be a very interesting option coming out of the bullpen, especially just considering he's got a very strange delivery, but could end up becoming a really important, if not situational, lefty out of the bullpen.
I think he's really hard to hit. You know, I told the team after last Sunday that that's as close to doing something that would translate to the major leagues as anybody on our team has done on this field, at least this team this year. And, reminds me of Billy Wagner a little bit, the old Astros left-handed pitcher. And he's really growing in confidence and going to be a very key part of this thing.
Jay Johnson meeting with reporters. Again, this was Friday while we were out at Super Bowl Radio Row. And one more, of course, this Friday, coming up in 3 days, LSU is going to take on Milwaukee. And Jay Johnson gave some early thoughts on the Milwaukee team coming down to Baton Rouge.
I think their strength of the team, at least in my initial evaluation, is they have a lot of returning pitching. They have a lot of guys that have thrown a lot of innings of college baseball. And so I like that. I think we're obviously being really tested by our own pitching staff. And when I say our own pitching staff, I'm talking about like 15 guys on our pitching staff. So there's no break. Like, you get to the fourth inter-squad game and it's the same as the first one. So that's the first thing that jumps out. I think they're well coached. They have a very scrappy brand of offense that they play. They reached out to us about coming here, and usually what I found when coaches do that, they feel pretty good about their team in that season.
What a line. I don't really care what jersey the other team is wearing. I think we're all just glad baseball at the box returns on Friday. We'll get a look at the Jay Johnson squad for the first time. All right, it's after further review. Of course, LSU baseball, proud partner of LSU athletics with Our Lady of the Lake Championship Health partner, the Lake and our friends over there. Not only do they provide the expert care for all of the LSU athletes, they've been great NIL partners as well with LSU and certainly LSU baseball. EJ Kuiper, the president CEO of FMOL Health, so many great shots of him during the Omaha run. If you're not familiar, EJ, who's the president of FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, before he came to FMOL, he was at a health system in Omaha. So a lot of connectivity there. So he was there with the team for most of that Omaha run last year. So I'm in the dugout a lot. So great, obviously, the folks at Our Lady of the Lake, great supporters of all Tiger sports, and definitely Jay Johnson's squad as baseball Tigers getting set to open up the season on Friday. And as always, if you're in need of any type of health care, if it's family health, if it's pediatrics, if it's heart, cancer, stroke, anything, orthopedics, our friends at Our Lady of the Lake, they're just the best. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Ryan Muret's going to be here in 15 minutes from right now, freshman offensive lineman. I'm excited about this conversation because this is a guy who was connected to Lane Kiffin and that staff before Lane Kiffin came to LSU. He was committed to Ole Miss when Lane Kiffin took the LSU job. He immediately flipped. He's now enrolled, and he's going to be in our studio in 15 minutes from right now. So excited about that conversation. Let me knock out a quick break, come back, and wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
If you're thinking about selling your home, call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Call Darren James. Get your home sold. That's guaranteed. Yep. Darren guarantees he's going to sell your home. It's his guaranteed sale program. It's easy. It works like this. Call Darren. He's going to sit down with you. He'll show you market data. You're going to agree to a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash, or he'll sell it for you absolutely free. No catch. So what do you have to lose? Call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666. That's Darren's cell. Call or text him. 335-7666 or agent225.com, agent225.com. Need to sell your home? You need Darren James, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor sexy.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Glad to have you hanging out with us here as always. We do appreciate our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Hey, remember, yes, obviously they sell tractors. Mention that all the time. But they also sell small construction equipment. It's not just lawnmowers and ag. They got lawnmowers and got ag equipment, but they have small construction equipment as well. So you need a Deere for your next project. You need Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. All right, it's after further review. Ryan Moret in studio will be with us here on air in about 10 minutes from right now. Very excited to talk to LSU's freshman offensive lineman. Remember, was committed to Kiffin at Ole Miss. When Kiffin came to LSU, flipped. Now he's on campus. He's enrolled. He'll be going through spring. Excited to talk to Ryan here in just a smidge. Also, LSU basketball back on the hardwood tonight. We'll get a preview of LSU and Arkansas coming up next hour. Right now, though, Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, so Will Campbell met with reporters here on Tuesday and revealed that he was playing through a torn ligament in his knee for the majority of his rookie season, definitely throughout the postseason, where there were some struggles. In addition to revealing that torn ligament, he also was very candid in talking about his struggles throughout the postseason.
I was picked high, paid a lot, so people expect a certain thing, and I expect more of myself. So whenever I don't perform, I don't expect, everyone to be like, it's okay, buddy. Obviously it sucks, but it doesn't suck for anyone more than it sucks for me.
When he's healthy next season, the comeback's just going to be absolutely fantastic.
He had a good year.
From the minor setback that it was, look out, 66 is coming with a vengeance. Cam Thomas, a night ago, unfortunately missed yet again for the Brooklyn Nets. Been dealing with a couple nagging injuries. We will keep you posted there. Naz Reid was on the floor for the Timberwolves. 21 minutes off the bench, 7.6 boards, 2 steals, a block, 2 assists. Normal Naz Reid stat sheet. Just fills it up in really every possible way.
You just buried the lead, bro. Naz Reid was in a fight last night. Come on, dog.
Naz Reid got in a fight last night.
Come on, dog.
I didn't see this.
Naz Reid got in a fight last night, bro. Come on.
Did he win?
He's an alien. Of course he was.
Well, there's other aliens on an NBA court, man. They're all giant.
No, not with the Predator dreads.
All right.
Yeah, man, there's Naz Reid last night.
He is just dragging a human.
Yeah, big dude. There it is.
Yeah.
That's way more important than whatever else you were saying, Muse.
7 and 6, couple steals, couple assists,
and a
block shot.
Oh, by the way, also got into a giant fight.
Got in a fight.
Benches clearing, got ejected from the game. Yeah.
Oh, man, that kind of looks like a baseball fight. Just grabbing jerseys and being pulled apart. Don't get me wrong. I don't really want to do that with Nas, but I'm just saying. Trendon Watford did get a start for the 76ers. 25 minutes. He turned in 12 and 3 that night. Good to see him back in the starting lineup. Remember, injury took him out. And speaking of injuries, Duop Reith had a season-ending injury. Ended up being placed on waivers. The Hawks was traded to the Hawks, and they have now placed him on waivers just days after acquiring him. So we'll see what's next. He's out for the year, and he'll be recovering. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana, including Youngsville. Been mentioning they are looking for qualified, experienced technicians at the Youngsville location in Shawbill. So if you live in Youngsville, if you live near Youngsville, if you might move to Youngsville, one of the fastest growing communities in the state of Louisiana, Shawbill is looking to hire you. They have a robust bonus program. They've got awesome benefits, 5-day work week, and working for a great local company. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. You can apply online. Get more info there at ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. They treat you like family. We just keep you coming back year after year after year after year. It's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Hey, one other quick note. The draft is right around the bend, and Adam Schefter was on McAfee Show earlier today and said there's actually a change potentially coming to the NFL draft.
right now it's 3 years in the NFL, and this has not been out there at all, so you can put it on your bottom line. There's going to be a push by at least one team this offseason to extend the NFL trade limits from 3 years of picks to 5 years of picks.
That chorus of angels that you hear singing in the background is Mickey Loomis. Old gum-smacking Mick, fired up. He could trade away future draft capital potentially up to 5 years now, not just 3. Who cares? Let's move up. They'll give us more picks. You mean we can trade out to 2037? Let's go. Oh, Mick. I wonder if Mick listens to the show.
I'm going to say no. Probably not anymore, at least. If he did, I don't think he listens anymore.
Want to bet?
He might. I don't think so.
You want to bet? Hey, Mick. Stop trading all your picks away. Draft good players. All right, hour 3 is next. Stay here at AFR.
After further review.
Hey, we're brought about Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com, Arco.com. Big old business that before we started talking about it, you may not have heard about because, quite honestly, I hadn't either. But, man, when you start peeling back the layers there, you realize they are so impressive and awesome people, too. One of the things that strikes you the most, they have, like, you don't build a giant business that goes north to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio, all points in between, servicing businesses, if you ain't doing something right. Smart, great people that are there to serve as well in some of the toughest moments. So let's be honest, man. When the power goes out, when a storm comes, rain, hurricane, ice, you got to get back online. Arco Power Systems, this is industrial Generac generator power. It's not for your home, your business, your commercial building, your industrial facility, your municipality. Arco Power Systems. Arco.com, Arco.com.